to the Marketing Nomad Show, the fun pit stop for all things Instagram, where I also share my entrepreneurial journey, some of my lessons, wins, and challenges along the way, so it can inspire you to get started and grow on Instagram as well. Welcome to the Marketing Nomad Show. Tiffany, how are we doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing so good. I'm super excited to have you on my show today. Guys, today we're going to be talking about YouTube for solopreneurs. So this is definitely an episode that you should not miss. All right, Tiffany, let's get started. Let's jump right into today's episode. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Tiffany. I am actually a stay-at-home mom of two, and it's one of the reasons why I kind of ventured onto YouTube. Before diving into this crazy world, I actually worked full-time. I was in like HR, marketing, management, all of that. And with the unfortunate job market, brick and mortar stores, just economy's not holding up the way it used to. The company had to do a lot of let goes. They actually filed bankruptcy. And on Christmas Eve of 2017, I told I would no longer have a job in the new year. So started 2018 off really well. And at the time, I only had my daughter, and I never visioned myself as a stay-at-home mom. And so I just kind of like, I'm bored. I mean, being a mom is not boring, but I just needed something else. I was like, all I've done is work. What do I do? And I was looking up like work from home jobs, tried blogging. That was not going to work for me, but quickly landed on YouTube, and I have been on there ever since 2018, and I've loved it. So I actually run two channels now. And I know if I didn't love the stress of one channel, I figured why not start a second one? But yeah, it's brought in some amazing opportunities. So I just literally get to raise my children at home and do something that I love that brings a second income in for my family. And it's just been amazing.
That's so amazing to hear your story. I feel like everyone I see who is successful has that one moment, that pivoting point in their lives that, kind of pushed them, gave them the nudge and said, hey, you got to do what you're meant to do. And it looks like it happened with you in 2018. So that's so nice to hear, Tiffany. And I love how, you're balancing YouTube and your kids as well. That is amazing. And I definitely will, I feel like we'll talk a little bit about it in the future part of this episode. But kind of let's go a little bit into 2018 when you first started your YouTube channel. What were some of the struggles that you faced, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, so when I first started, I actually ended up in the lifestyle niche. Again, this was just something I kind of landed in. This is before I even realized there were things called niches, which definitely was a struggle because, I had my cell phone. I didn't have equipment. I didn't dream of being a YouTuber. I didn't really know what I was doing. And I just know I needed to talk to people. And I actually found a mom, which is so crazy. She was doing dishes live and talking to people, and people were responding and chatting. And for once in my motherhood journey, like I didn't feel alone because she was going through similar situations. And I was like, I like this. And so all I knew is I had my cell phone that could easily upload straight to YouTube, and that's what I did. I, took 5 minutes out of my day, like the 5-minute wind down, and just chatted about my day and struggles I was feeling as a mom, and I just uploaded. The biggest thing was it wasn't getting any views because I didn't realize what I was doing, or all those things I know now, like keyword research and having a niche and your target audience. So yeah, coming into this blind like that definitely was one of the biggest struggles, but I don't regret it. If someone says, if you would have went back and studied first and came on, I would have probably have said no, because in a way, being naive and not knowing what I was doing kept me going. And I didn't like fail. I didn't get into comparisons right away, because the minute I started like understanding what was going on was the minute I started judging my content and myself and comparing myself to other channels. And then I wanted to quit. And yeah, it was its own like battle, but being naive in the beginning was a blessing in disguise, I guess.
Oh, that's amazing. So I feel like, your journey started in 2018. One of your biggest struggles was, that you did not understand YouTube, as you know, what people talk about today, the algorithm, keyword, SEO, and all of those fancy words that people use. How has your journey been so far? It's 2021, and what are some of the challenges that you faced a little bit along the way as well, with respect to maybe balancing your work and your home life, or even just on YouTube?
Yeah, so the crazy thing about this is, and again, I know I'm focusing mainly on one channel, but the second channel is coming, it's getting there, it's a part of the journey. But when I really started to understand things at the time, my husband and I had decided, we wanted to add to the family and try again for another baby. And I had started to notice that there was a niche for that. There was moms that were tracking, their ability to try, it's called the TTC journey. They were going through that and they were sharing that because they didn't want others to feel alone. And as someone in the past who struggled with fertility issues, I was like, I can do this. All I've ever wanted was to be a support system for moms, and I wanted to share my journey. And fortunately for us, our journey wasn't long. We were blessed, with my son pretty fast, but it led to other things. It was a rocky start. We weren't sure if it was viable. There was so much like drama surrounding it. And that moment and going through that brought in so much traffic to my channel. And, as we were growing my family and trying to figure out what I'm doing on YouTube and is this something I want to do, my channel started growing. And again, you said it earlier, it's that pivotal moment. And that was that pivot moment for my channel. And so I had people now on this journey of pregnancy with me, and were there to like the birth of my child. And it was just crazy having that whole thing around. But yeah, it became really hard once he was born, because now I'm no longer just carrying him in my belly, but I'm having to chase him and a toddler and try to film and edit and stuff. But, I truly feel like if you have a passion for something, you're going to find time for it. And that's what I did. It was late nights. It's not pretty. It is not a fairy tale story of doing YouTube. There's a lot of late nights. There's a lot of nap time editing and, filming around the kids. And I remember setting up my lights and having my kids sleep in the room. And as soon as they would fall asleep, I would just press record and sit down while they're behind the camera sleeping on the other side. So yeah, it's a lot. And that's, I would just, every minute or second that I had to dedicate to my channel, that's what I did, because I knew that's what I wanted to do. And then that's when I started helping others do that. And that's where I felt like I really found my passion. And when I started my second channel in June of 2020, so it's been a little over 6 months now.
It's quite fascinating that you are able to balance two different YouTube accounts. It must be quite two kids and two YouTube accounts.
Two accounts, yes. I like being busy.
That must be insane. I can't even imagine. And I have seen how you balance things up front. Like, I have been watching you. I have been, observing you, and it is amazing how you are able to pull it off. And I really wanted to bring you on this show because I really wanted to hear your entire journey. It has been absolutely inspiring for me as well, to know that it is possible to have it all, to have a work life. It is possible to also balance your home life as well, because I feel like as a woman, that is definitely something that I personally am afraid of. Will I be able to balance this and this? So it has been so inspiring to watch you, Tiffany. Now, let's get in a little bit into, YouTube and the technical aspects of YouTube.
Yeah.
This is something that I've heard a lot, and it is definitely something that I felt when I first started on YouTube too. Albeit that my channel isn't really that active. It's only me posting my podcast episodes, but I feel like I hesitated to start on YouTube because I thought that it was saturated. I thought that, it was overwhelming. I thought that it would just take up 24/7 of my time. So I know that a lot of solopreneurs are feeling that way, and they are nervous about getting started on YouTube. So what are your thoughts on that?
100% it is saturated, but there is a way to get around it. I went into probably one of the most saturated niches when I first started, which is lifestyle. But if I would have just kept it at lifestyle, I, wouldn't have been found. But the fact that I narrowed it down once to motherhood, I eliminated all of those other ones like college or, you know, vegan or anything else like that, those lifestyle. Now I'm just focusing on motherhood. And then I went down a little bit more and I focused on moms trying for, you know, to grow their families. And then I focused on moms recovering from postpartum. And then I really dug into like mental health. And so the more you layer down and you peel back those layers of what your niche actually is, the easier it becomes to not feel so saturated. You know, and I did it again when it came to me knowing I'm going to teach YouTube growth on YouTube. First, I am a small channel in my eyes. You know, I don't even have 50,000 subscribers yet. Yes, I have a couple of videos above 100,000, one that has over 1 million views, but overall, that's still a small channel. And I already knew I didn't want to add YouTube tips to that channel. I wanted to start from scratch. So now I'm coming into a very, not just saturated niche, but male dominated saturated niche of people who are well established, people who have been on YouTube for years, teaching others how to do YouTube. I've watched these people, you know, and I was like, I need to do the same thing. It's saturated, but what's missing? And I think that's what people forget is what's missing. And for me coming into this, it was lifestyle. Nobody really talks about growing a lifestyle channel. If you look at YouTube growth tips, it's gamers, it's business, it's entrepreneurship, it's, you know, so many other avenues. And that missing link was lifestyle bloggers, you know, lifestyle channels, lifestyle growth tips, because it's different than gaming and all of that. So I would definitely say, like, even going in, if you are a solopreneur for, you know, Etsy shops, what kind of Etsy shops? What do? You dig down more and then find the missing links. Are you going to teach Etsy shops how to take pictures? I mean, that in itself is its own niche, you know, how to set up your Etsy shop. It's really just digging down as far as you can go so you're not saturated. So if you do feel like it's saturated, you just haven't found that missing piece yet.
That's such an interesting thought, especially when you say, you know, niching down, layering it. And it looks like when you first started out, you were, you know, a much broader sense of the niche. And then over time, you were able to figure it out. So it's not necessarily that you have to figure things out the minute you get onto YouTube or just before you get onto it. So yeah, because that's definitely another fear. Like, okay, I don't know my niche yet, so I'm not going to get started. I feel like there are a million reasons not to get started on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I feel like we haven't talked about this, but how does YouTube actually help solopreneurs with their business? I feel like I should have led that with that question first.
But yeah, no, that's actually a really good question. And you're right. Not a lot of people do talk about it. And it's, I mean, if you're not on YouTube, I don't know what you're doing for your business, because there is so much power to YouTube. I mean, it is controlled, literally controlled by Google. Google owns YouTube. The algorithms are the same, the placements are the same, they engineer it just the same. And so you literally get the power of YouTube in video format. And what's so amazing about that, especially if you are a person who like deals with other people, or you have customers, consultants, anything like that, they get to see what it's going to be like to work with you hand in hand. They get to watch your videos and learn about your personality and, you know, get to see you genuinely. And I think that's one thing on my channel. I was like, okay, I'm not going to try to be the next Vanessa Lau or the next, you know, Catherine Manning. I'm just going to be me. What's me? You know, and I came out 100% me. I wasn't trying to be somebody else or be overly happy, or, you know, what you see is what you get. If you talk to me on my videos, on my live streams, or in person. And I think that's the biggest thing too, is what people don't say, not just the SEO part, but they literally get to see you. And, you know, there's so much in sales when it comes to people. But yeah, when it does come to the technical side, it is a very powerful search engine, and it's not a social media platform. No matter what anybody says, yes, it has social media platform tendencies, but at the end of the day, it's a search engine. It's evergreen content, and it can become a resource for your business. You can have frequently asked questions on there and all this stuff. Like, it's just an amazing library of opportunity for your business.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that as well. The power of YouTube is amazing. And even though, as you say, it's saturated, there is just so much of hidden opportunity on that platform. So, absolutely. And let's touch a little bit on one point that you mentioned, and that is showing up as yourself. And I do want to get into the mindset aspect of this because I think that that is also a genuine fear when you are starting out. How do you show up as yourself? How do you stay confident? How do you be okay with the way people perceive you, the negative comments on YouTube that we hear about? How do we push past that and show up?
So I think the biggest thing is, one, as humans, we are scared to not be liked. We have this, even the most confident person still has this ting of, what if they don't like me? It happens to everybody. And at the end of the day, I hear this quote all the time: if they're not paying your bills, then you pay them no mind. And there's keyboard warriors, with the rise of social media and everything else. There is always going to be someone who's there saying something, but they're probably saying something out of things going on in their own personal space. People who are going to bring you down are never above you. And that's something that you truly need to remember when somebody does leave a negative comment. And for me, like, if I see negative comments, I do one or two things. One, I just ignore it. If I feel like it's a personal attack, and I was actually just talking to somebody else about this, if I feel it's a personal attack, even if it doesn't bother me, but I feel like somebody else could read that comment and be bothered by it, I'm going to remove it from my channel, because I don't want that type of community vibe or anything like that. Or I respond back with kindness. And I've had things, again, coming into how to teach YouTube and, being a new channel. Yes, I was getting only a couple of hundred views per video. And I remember somebody commented and said, why don't you try to get more views before teaching us how to do it? And I said, well, you're here, so it must be working. And he just kind of laughed and said, oh, okay. And that was it. He didn't say anything else back, and he never left another comment. So, there are those times where you can kind of kill them with kindness or joke around to show them, like, it doesn't bother me. But I think the biggest thing on being comfortable and confident is making sure that I don't teach outside of my expertise. I'm not trying to show people how to make $1 million on YouTube, because I've never done it. I don't know how to do it. And if I even try to remotely repeat what somebody else has said about it, I'm not going to be confident, because that's not my journey. Something I am good at is ranking in search, which is why I constantly talk about it. And that's why I can confidently say it, because, I can back it up, and I have proof and, pictures and a formula and all of this. So definitely making sure, again, one, you just don't bother about the keyboard warriors, what anyone's going to say, and then don't teach outside of what you know or your expertise, or try to be above what you've done or accomplished.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with both of what you just said, including, when you talk about how there are going to be keyboard warriors. I feel like it is going to be there on every platform and not just YouTube. So that is definitely something I agree with. And especially when you're talking about, not going beyond what you know, I think if you just talk about what you know, the confidence just comes out. It just is you. So I definitely agree with that.
It's 6 o'clock.
Oh, that's my alarm. Sorry.
Oh,
I have 30-minute, alarms on my laptop to remind me to drink water because I am terrible at it.
Oh yeah, I have a one of those gallon water jugs right next to me. So
Oh God, no. So every time I just make it say the time, and that's enough for me to, get the hint that, okay, I gotta
the
take
water.
a water break. So that was that you just heard. Okay, so now talking a little bit about your coaching program and what you do to help other solopreneurs, especially lifestyle bloggers, you said, what are 3 mistakes that you see your clients making and how to avoid them?
So the biggest mistake is, one, thinking you need like the fanciest equipment in the world to get started. I always hear people say, like, what camera should I get first? Or what lighting should I get? What's this should I get? And I said, you should get things that are going to help you learn how to do YouTube first. Because if not, it's going to be the most expensive hobby you've ever had in the world. Both cell phones nowadays are amazing. They have amazing camera qualities. They hold up the test of time next to cameras, not the red cameras but a nice quality DSLR and an iPhone 12 can pretty much do just about the same thing. You don't really need lighting. You can just do a nice window, making sure you have that natural lighting, just film during the day if you have to. a lot of us started with just our cell phones. So the biggest mistake is just trying to invest into equipment over investing into like educational stuff. The second thing is expecting tools like TubeBuddy to just magically make your channel grow without realizing how to use it. And, you know, I have a video coming out on that next because it is asked so much. I see constantly, TubeBuddy doesn't work for me. And I said, no, you just don't understand how to use it. And that goes with any tool. There's Morning Fame, there's vidIQ, you know, whatever keyword research tool you have, it's a tool. You have to know how to use the tool before it'll actually start to work for you. And then the third one has to be niche. You know, just one, either getting too caught up on your niche or not niching at all. We're niching the wrong way. And I always say, when you niche, think of your target audience first. Don't think about video topics. Don't think about this is going viral, that's going viral. You know, I want to teach this. Think about what your audience actually needs, what they're looking for, what they're searching for, the questions that they have, and then make videos on that.
That's awesome. I feel like those are definitely three mistakes that I do see people making, and I personally made them myself when I first started out as well. So it's really nice to hear from you. So after a point, you know, your clients, they've got their niche done, they've got their equipment set up, they know how to get started. What are some of your tips for kind of figuring out their content strategy for YouTube? I know that you said, you know, you shouldn't run after the one that's just exploding and, you know, you basically figure out your content, but how do we actually figure out what works and what is not going to work for our niche?
Yeah, so one is about testing and, you know, having that variety of going slightly outside of the box just in case, because you never know what video is going to take off on your channel, what people are really going to respond to or things like that. But also what I like to do is called the 70-20-10 rule. And so 70% of my content is searchable content. And that is, you know, again, using things like TubeBuddy to research what is my target audience looking for, which for me, if we go to the solopreneur route, my target audience are new lifestyle vloggers or lifestyle content creators. And so I will just kind of type in lifestyle content creators on TubeBuddy and then go to their video topics and see what is being searched, what are people looking for, you know, new YouTubers, what are they looking for, what questions do they have. Keywords Everywhere is another great tool. And even just using Google and YouTube, they have an algorithm that gives you an auto prediction box, which means it's going to try to guess what you're saying based off of people's searches. So if it comes up in the box, it's most likely searched by people. So, you know, doing that. And then when it comes to the 20%, that's when I really focus on trends. It's not a mistake. Trends are going to help you grow. They're going to help you grow fast. The only bad thing about trends is when a trend dies, so does the growth. So that's why I don't try to focus on trends and I just try to keep it more evergreen, but I do know trends are going to help. And so that's really staying tuned in to your niche. So for me, it's really staying up to date and tuned into YouTube's channels, YouTube's updates, YouTube's blogs. You know, again, if you're a solopreneur and you do business marketing or online, you know, marketing, if you're a yoga instructor, just staying tuned in to your niche, your environment, your network. So if any changes come up, any trends are happening, you know, social media, I'm sure people who jumped on the Clubhouse trend now, I mean, their channels are doing well because Clubhouse is huge. So, you know, being ahead of that and being first for your trends is amazing. And then the 10% I leave for what I call connectivity. And that is those videos that are going to help not me gain new subscribers, but me retain the current subscribers that I have. That's going to show a little bit more of me. That's going to show my mistakes to my, you know, that I've made. That's going to show my expertise. That's going to show, you know, live streams so they can get to know me, Q&As, anything that's going to hold their connection to me to where they're like, you know, she knows exactly what I'm thinking, or, you know, she's exactly what I've been looking for, what's been missing in the niche or whatever it is. She's so raw, she's so real. Like those are the things I want people to say about me. And so that's when I look at my content. I'm like, okay, these connection contents or Q&As or anything I can do to just hang out with my audience and retain my audience. So I'm not constantly just searching for new people. I'm keeping the people I already have as well.
That's an amazing strategy, the 70-20-10 rule. And I feel like we've covered so much in this episode. I definitely know that people are going to be so much more confident. My listeners are going to be so ready to get started on YouTube. Because I definitely vouch for that platform. I know the power of it, and I know that it can really transform the way people find you as a solopreneur, especially because Instagram, what I teach is not SEO friendly at the moment. Maybe in the future it will be, and it looks like it is getting there. But there is a certain power with SEO, and especially when you said, Google owns YouTube, so you're basically showing up on Google searches, and there's nothing like it,
Yeah.
especially from a marketing standpoint. So, if we were to, summarize this entire episode, Tiffany, into
Mhm.
steps that my audience can take to get started on their YouTube channel, what would it be?
Um, Summarize. So definitely don't be afraid to show up. If this is what you need for your business, no, not if this is what you need for your business. YouTube is such a great platform. It has the power of SEO, like we said. It has the power of Google. I mean, you will show up in Google search just by making a YouTube video and optimizing it well enough. And it's scarier than you think to optimize, but it's not hard once you get the hang of it. Definitely knowing who your target audience is key. Like if you don't know your target audience, you don't know the type of content you're going to make for them. And then just balancing that content strategy to gain that searchability traffic and that evergreen content that's going to be a resource for your business, to keep up with trends so that you're maintaining growth at a really nice pace, and just to connect with those followers as well. So this way you maintain and don't have a high subscriber turnover rate. So that's going to just keep a wheel of subscribe, unsubscribe. That's what that connection does. It keeps them subscribed for a longer period of time. And again, not getting fancy with your equipment. Your cell phone and a window is perfect.
That's awesome. I loved your, 3 quick actionable steps. And I know we talked a little bit, just now about optimizing and how that can be a little daunting. If people want to, reach out to you for more support for your coaching program, how do they reach out to you, Tiffany?
Yeah, so obviously I have my own YouTube channel, so youtube.com/navigating YouTube. And there's actually a YouTube channel optimization checklist in the bio. So you guys can click on that. It's a free download, and it walks you through the most important things you need to do when it comes to getting your channel set up for success so you can grow your business and attract your target audience. And then I am also on Instagram at Navigating YouTube as well.
Perfect. All right, guys, I'm definitely going to put these links in the description box below so that you can definitely reach out to Tiffany. Tiffany is also part of the Insta Savvy tribe. So
Yeah.
it's been amazing having her, watching her grow, and I've been so inspired by her journey, as I'm sure that all of you have been as well. So I wish you all the very best when it comes to starting your YouTube channel. Please do follow Tiffany, follow her lifestyle blogging YouTube channel, if I'm not wrong, and
Yeah.
also her YouTube channel to help solopreneurs with their lifestyle videos as well. Follow her on Instagram. Get that checklist, guys, because that is going to be absolute gold for you. All right, Tiffany, thank you so much for joining us on this show. We have learned so much from you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is fun. Thank you.
No worries at all. All right, guys, I will catch you in my next episode. Talk soon.